Hello and welcome to Pros Before Joes. This episode will be on the Sharpshooter perk for Killing Floor. We'll be going over the stats of the Sharpshooter, the weapons loadout, going over the pistols first and then the rifles. And then finally we'll be just giving some helpful hints and tips that are useful. Let's take a look at the stats for the Sharpshooter. For all levels of the Sharpshooter perk, they will get a bonus to headshot damage, both for their Sharpshooter weapons as well as off-perk weapons. They will also get a discount for Sharpshooter weapons. Starting at level 1, they will get reduced recoil, reduced reload speed, and an increased fire rate for all Sharpshooter weapons. And starting at level 5, they will spawn with a lever action rifle, and at level 6, they will spawn with a crossbow. That being said, they will not receive a discount for the lever action rifle or the crossbow. Let's start off with the 9mm pistol. While every perk spawns with this gun, it benefits from the Sharpshooter perk. With the Sharpshooter headshot bonus, this gun will reliably decapitate lesser specimens in 1 or 2 headshots depending on difficulty. This has the largest magazine capacity and ammo reserve for pistols and weighs nothing unless you purchase duals. However, it does the least damage and has no target penetration, so it's only useful against weaker specimens. The 9mm has a good iron sight and low recoil, which makes it very accurate. As with all pistols, you can purchase dual pistols, which grants an increase in fire rate and mag size, which is countered by lower accuracy and longer reload times. However, I would not recommend using dual 9mm as the pistol's strongest feature is its accuracy, and duals basically make that useless. The next pistol is the MK23. Basically, it is a better version of the 9mm. The MK23 does more damage and is capable of penetrating one enemy, but fires slower, has a longer reload, a smaller magazine capacity, and ammo reserve. It is also easy to aim because of its low recoil and good iron sights. However, it does not do as much damage or penetration as the Magnum or the hand cannon. It is useful to get as an off-perk sidearm, as it only weighs 2 blocks and is relatively inexpensive to purchase off-perk. However, I would not recommend purchasing dual MK23s for the same reason stated for the 9mm. The next pistol is the 44 Magnum. The 44 Magnum fires fastest of all the pistols and does more damage than the MK23 or the 9mm. This is countered by the small 6-round cylinder and the slowest reload of all the pistols. The Magnum does less damage, has a lower recoil, and it has a smaller mag capacity compared to the hand cannon, but it does have a larger ammo reserve. The Magnum can penetrate up to 4 enemies, but because of its lower damage compared to the hand cannon, it will not do so as reliably. This, along with the MK23, only weighs 2 blocks each. So like the MK23, it's useful as an off-perk sidearm. This is also a decent pistol to dual wield as well. The final pistol in the Sharpshooter arsenal is the hand cannon. The hand cannon does the most damage out of all the pistols. It has a mid-sized magazine capacity of 8 rounds and does a ton of damage while dual wielded. This is countered by the fact that it weighs 4 blocks and also has the smallest ammo reserve of all the pistols. It has a good iron sight, but has a high recoil, so it's harder to aim compared to the MK23 or 9mm. The hand cannon will reliably kill weak to mid specimens, and with the Sharpshooter headshot bonus, it is decent against larger specimens as well. The hand cannon can penetrate up to 4 enemies with diminishing damage after each penetration. In my opinion, this is the best pistol to purchase duals for, since it can dish out a lot of damage. However, be sure to watch your ammo because of the low ammo reserve. The first weapon in the Sharpshooter's main weapon arsenal is the lever action rifle or LAR. The lever action rifle is capable of killing any lesser or middle specimens at any difficulty and any player number with 1 to 2 headshots. It has a very simple but effective iron sight, and this weapon is very cheap at only 200 pounds. It has a moderate magazine size, very cheap ammo, and a moderate ammo capacity. This is countered by the fact that this weapon has a long reload time, the lowest headshot multiplier of all rifles, and is generally ineffective against flesh pounds and skrakes at low perk levels. However, it does have an interruptible reload, so you should be reloading whenever you're not firing. In the hands of a good sharpshooter, the LAR has more damage per shot compared to its counterpart, the M14 EBR, and is more accurate because of its low recoil. It is a good weapon to use off perk because of its moderate damage and low cost. The next weapon is the M14 EBR. The M14 is excellent in the hands of a great sharpshooter. It does moderate damage, is semi-automatic, and has a higher rate of fire compared to the lever-action rifle. But unlike the LAR, it has a 2.25 headshot multiplier, a larger magazine capacity, and a larger ammo reserve. This is countered by its very intrusive iron sights and very high recoil. It also comes equipped with a laser sight for assistance with aiming. The M14 needs skilled hands to be really effective. It recoils at a very rapid rate, and shots need to be controlled between small bullet groups. And compared to the crossbow, however, it is better at taking down flesh pounds at suicidal or hell on earth difficulties, provided the sharpshooter lands headshots, because of the increased crossbow headshot resistance flesh pounds get. The next weapon is the compound crossbow. The crossbow is a very powerful weapon capable of doing massive headshot damage due to the 4 times headshot multiplier and the sharpshooter's headshot damage bonus. Only the strongest specimens can survive a headshot from this weapon, and despite the flesh pound's resistance to headshots by this weapon, a highly skilled sharpshooter remains quite capable of decapitating or killing it in 1 or 2 headshots, even on the higher difficulties. In addition, the crossbow is also outfitted with a scope, allowing you to target very distant enemies. It can also penetrate enemies nearly indefinitely, therefore it is recommended to line up specimens if possible to deal a large amount of damage. This is countered by the fairly expensive per shot ammo, having to reload after every shot, a low ammo reserve, and being relatively wasteful when dealing with swarms of lesser specimens. Because of that, it's recommended to carry a sidearm with you to deal with the lesser specimens. It is also important to note that the bolts are recoverable should you get the chance or opportunity to get them. The final weapon in the sharpshooter arsenal is the M99 AMR. The M99 is absolutely devastating against any specimen. With its 2.25 headshot multiplier and the sharpshooter's headshot bonus, this weapon is capable of killing any specimen in a single headshot except flesh pounds on the highest difficulty or the Patriarch. It is also capable of stunning or killing any specimen except the flesh pound and Patriarch with a body shot. It also features a long range scope. The downside of this weapon is mainly by it being tied for the heaviest weapon in the game at 13 blocks, allowing only a machete or pipe bombs to be carried with it. It also has extremely expensive ammo at a whopping 250 pounds per shot and 6,250 pounds to fill from empty, which makes it terribly expensive to maintain except on the Patriarch wave. It also has the drawbacks of having to be reloaded after every shot, a low ammo reserve, and has a fairly long reload. Like the crossbow, it has a near unlimited penetration, so you should line up your shots to do the most damage, and like the crossbow, it is very wasteful to use on lesser specimens. My preferred loadout varies depending on difficulty level and map, but I'll usually go with the MK23 and crossbow, or the M14 and lever action rifle. Due to the large variety of weapons to choose from, the sharpshooter is a rather flexible class, so make sure you know the map layouts to choose the best weapon loadout available. Sharpshooters should focus on killing husks and sirens at a distance. These can cause major problems for the team if they are not properly dealt with, and the sharpshooter's long-range attacks prove very useful for this task. They are also very effective at dealing with skrakes and flesh pounds, provided they land headshots. As a recommended rule of thumb, the sharpshooter should use their main weapon for larger threats to the team, while using a sidearm to eliminate weaker specimens. Aiming for headshots requires some practice, as the head's hitbox can change position when a specimen is on the move, or when the specimen is rooted or charging. The hitbox does not follow the model animation and may fall behind or may glide to the side of the head, and you will get better at recognizing this with experience. When you're in an open area, watch your back for specimens. The sharpshooter stand and aim playstyle may cause specimens to sneak up on you while your attention is focused elsewhere. A level 6 sharpshooter is one of the cheapest classes to manage, which goes against most players' ideas of the perk. On Hell on Earth difficulty, if a sharpshooter dies and doesn't have enough money to buy new gear for the next wave, he can simply sell his crossbow for 600 pounds and gather 700 pounds total. For example, that amount of money will be enough to buy a lever action rifle, a hand cannon, and armor. Finally, when playing with a sharpshooter, do your best to keep the specimens off them and try not to obstruct their view, as it makes it easier for them to concentrate on landing headshots. That'll wrap up this video then. I hope that you found the tips and hints useful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on Pros Before Joes.